team. This is Professor Foreman. In this video, we're going to go over the overview of marketing. By the time you're done reading with your course textbook readings and the assigned articles, you should be able to define the role of marketing, describe the evolution of marketing over time, and describe how marketers create value for a product or service. Fighter bars. I don't know if you've ever heard of Fighter, but we're gonna look briefly at them. What do you have for breakfast when you're in a rush in the morning? Is it an energy bar? Think of some of the brands of energy bars or other products that you normally gravitate towards. Companies that produce and sell energy bars work hard to position them as appealing and tasty and convenient, socially responsible, healthy, and energy dense, and that they can help nearly any consumer meet their consumption needs. An apple or a banana, as well as a conventional candy bar, might offer some similar benefits and convenience, yet the value established by really good marketing helps consumers to see the appeal of the energy bar, which makes it more likely that you're going to opt to get one of these instead of the apple or the banana or a candy bar. So marketing is about an exchange. You give your time, information, and money to Fighter, and it gives you a great energy boost. You see that exchange? Marketing, a lot of people are confused by what it is or what it isn't. It's the activity, the processes, the set of institutions for how we go about capturing, creating, and communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have value for customers, partners, society at large, clients, right? We have to find the value for them in order for it to have the stickability. The AMA, which is the American Marketing Association, this is their definition of marketing. And you can also see that there are different perspectives that this definition covers. So when you're thinking about your day and all of the transactions that you take part in, from what you buy, where you go, what you read, all of those acts are engaged in marketing. So to you, what does this definition really mean? Think about that. Here is an exhibit of the core aspects of marketing. It affects various stakeholders. It's about satisfying the needs and wants, and I'll really stipulate that to say the perceived needs, because sometimes we think we need something that we actually don't. We just want it. But your job as a marketer is to try to satisfy that need. Marketing also entails an exchange, as we just mentioned. It creates value through the 4 Ps: product, price, place, and promotion decisions, which we're going to talk about shortly. And it can be performed by individuals and organizations. So I want you to think about something. What problems do you have? And there's not a product out there that can meet your need. Is there a problem? Is there something that you need a solution to, and you've looked high and low, but there's not a product out there that will meet your need? It could be a product that could be used for your computer, your home, organizing your work, or something for your car. Well, this is how marketers generate ideas for new products. They work diligently to uncover consumer needs. How we go about satisfying customers' wants and perceived needs. So here we have a Dove ad. How does Dove offer value? They added the Dove Men Care line, and they expanded into products for babies. In advertising to male consumers, they are seeking to acknowledge and recognize the modern man's role as a caregiver, and they link this communication to its baby care products. So now it's no longer marketing images of mom with baby, but it's dad with baby. It's also understanding something else unique as well. We do have some single dads out there. We do have some men out there that chose to be fathers, although they chose not to be involved in a relationship. And I, for one, know of a person years ago, he wanted to have a child and he found a surrogate to, and they went through the lab, the whole nine. And he's a single dad raising his child. So this speaks to the needs of men and fatherhood and all the ways in which that could be defined. It could be that you adopted a child, right? But I love the fact that they're acknowledging that parenthood is not solely and exclusively motherhood. And so when we're looking at all the different roles and how we can link this communications into its baby care products, this is a great tie-in. Now I want you to think of the different ways that Fighter and Dove offer value, and would these benefits convince you to purchase their products? Something to think about. Here's Exhibit 1.2, and it's looking at the underpinning of the seller-buyer relationships. Each party to the exchange gives up something of value. The customer usually gives up money. However, it can also be time and information. The organization's going to give up the good or service. The exchange in the end is mutually beneficial. So you see you have your goods and services from the producers, which are the sellers. We see the communications and delivery. We see how the customers/consumers are purchasing, and then we see that exchange of money and information. Exhibit 1.3 is showing you the marketing mix. And I mentioned to you the 4 Ps. This is an overview of the marketing mix, or 4 Ps: product, price, place, and promotion. And we're going to discuss this later in greater depth. I want you to choose a product that you see around you right now, wherever you are. You could be at home, you could be in the library, wherever you are. It could be a beverage, whatever. I want you to describe the 4 Ps for this product, right? It has to communicate value, create value, deliver value, capture value through promotion, product, price, and place. When we're looking at the decisions made through the 4 Ps, we see the ways in which marketing creates value. The marketing mix is the controllable set of decisions or activities that your organization uses to respond to the wants of your target market, whoever your target market may be. It may be the men, it may be the men who are parents, it may be teens, whoever your target market is. These 4 fall into place. Now, marketing traditionally has been divided into a set of these 4 interrelated decisions. And with that, we have the consequent actions that we call the marketing mix. When we look at how a product and how we go about creating value, the fundamental purpose of marketing is to create value by developing a variety of offerings, which includes goods, services, ideas, and how we can go about satisfying customers' needs. Then we are bringing goods, the services, the ideas. Now, ideas include thoughts, opinions, and philosophies. The intellectual concepts such as these can also be marketed. Groups promoting bicycle safety, such as Street Smart, go to schools, they give speeches, they sponsor bike helmet poster contests for members of their primary market, which happens to be children. In this example, promoting bicycle safety, the exchange of value occurs when the children listen to the sponsor's presentation and wear the helmets when they're out cycling, which means they have adopted or become purchasers of the safety idea that the group marketed. I want you to consider some ideas that are marketed to you effectively. Which ideas out there have been marketed to you where you became a buyer of that idea? Price helps you to capture value. It's everything that the buyer gives up. money, time, energy in exchange for a service or a product. Marketers must determine the price of a product carefully on the basis of that potential buyer's belief of its value. If I think it's cheap, but you put a high price on it, I'm going to turn away from it. If I think it's a premium product and I think it's got great value and longevity and whatever else that floats my boat, then I'm going to most likely invest in it. I'm going to make a purchase. When we look at pricing strategies, we're going to go into that later in other videos. But I want you to also understand that you may want to think of the difference between market pricing versus cost pricing. So write that down in your notes, market pricing versus cost pricing. And we'll be able to capture that in an upcoming video. Now, place is how we go about delivering the value proposition, what we are proposing that this product or service is valued at. It represents all of the processes in marketing that's necessary to get that product to the right customer when that customer wants it. Place deals specifically with the marketing channel management and retailing, also known as supply chain management. And some of you may be taking supply chain management courses, you may be majoring in it. I want you to understand that oftentimes people will overlook the importance of this component of the marketing mix because it's not as readily visible from the consumer perspective. So think about various products that, just when you're thinking about, because sometimes as you're listening, things will pop in your mind. And you can trace that path of those products from the manufacturer to the retailer to the consumer. Think about your cell phone, think about your car, think about the bottle of the beverage that you're drinking, whatever you have, look around you. It could be your handbag, your backpack, your wallet. Think about the path of that product, how it got to you. That's the supply chain side. So with that, we're going to look at some other things such as marketing analytics, and we're going to look at location and how Starbucks uses data to place new stores, and how Starbucks is constantly and proactively expanding its storefronts, right? And so that way that they can reach their target, because everyone's trying to get that coffee fix, that caffeine fix. When we're looking at how we go about communicating through promotion, it's how I can persuade and inform and remind you as the consumer, the potential buyer, about a service or a product that I'm selling, and how I can go about influencing your decision to buy, trying to find a way to influence and elicit a response from you. And so this is the fourth P in the marketing mix. Even the best products and services will go unsold if marketers cannot communicate their value to customers. Promotion is so key, and it's generally, it can enhance a product's or service's value. Here's a really good example. When the publisher of a well-known Babar books wanted to celebrate the 80th anniversary of the series, it initiated a $100,000 campaign working in collaboration with toy stores and bookstores. The campaign didn't just suggest that people buy the books and read about an Elephant King. Instead, it embraced a sense of nostalgia and evoked a simpler time in which grandparents might read pleasant stories to their grandchildren, and hence why the image that you see above. Now, this is Exhibit 1.4, and it's showing how marketing can be performed by individuals and organizations. And you see the business to business, right? The business consumer and consumer to consumer. We can see how the same product, which is a tablet, can be sold from one organization to a next, from an organization to the consumer, and then sold from consumer to consumer. Have you bought a product from other consumers online? Where did you buy them through? What portal, what source did you use? When we think of the various stakeholders that marketing impacts, we're looking at customers, supply chain partners. You can look at employees, society as a whole, industry. There's so many people that are impacted. Supply chain partners will include our manufacturers, agents, retailers, wholesalers, and so on. Companies market to employees with employment marketing, also known as internal marketing, and that's how they go about recruiting and retaining the best employees. We see this ad from the milk industry, the Milk Life marketing campaign, and how it creates a high level of awareness of the milk industry. What 8 grams of protein looks like when you unleash your inner rock star. You're like, okay. So let's check your knowledge so far. What is the definition of marketing? Marketing is an organizational function and a set of processes for creating, communicating, and delivering value to customers, and for managing customer relationships in ways that benefit the organization and its stakeholders. Number 2, marketing is about satisfying what and what? What 2 things? If you said needs and wants, you're correct. Number 3, what are the 4 components of the marketing mix? Do you remember the four P's? Product, price, place, and promotion. And number 4, who can perform marketing? We just covered it. If you said individuals and organizations, you're correct. Let's move right along. Exhibit 1.5 is showing you the evolution of marketing tied to production, sales, marketing, and value. And it's been through several eras. This exhibit graphically represents the changes over time from an emphasis on production to one based on value-based marketing. The production-oriented era took place around the turn of the 20th century, when most firms believed a good product would sell itself. In the sales-oriented era, production and distribution techniques became more sophisticated and supply outpaced demand, and organizations found an answer to overproduction by focusing on sales. In the market-oriented era, the focus was on what customers wanted. It was during this period that companies discovered marketing. Now we're in the value-based era, which maintains the market orientation, but it also includes a focus on giving greater value than the competition. Value reflects the relationship of benefits to cost. Value-based marketing means implementing a marketing strategy according to what customers value. When we look at value-based marketing, the meaning of best value, that's Whole Foods purpose-based marketing. They have their responsibly grown rating program that identifies all fresh produce and flowers according to their environmental impact. In parallel with this new initiative and others, Whole Foods has developed a revised advertising campaign with a prominent tagline that reminds shoppers that values matter. The commercials emphasize that by shopping at Whole Foods, consumers can be confident that their food has been sourced responsibly and fairly. So, is this campaign for Whole Foods about value? Some customers are willing to pay whatever the asking price is for all types of food at all price levels because to them, what they get for is that value, right? They're thinking they're paying more for the value. When we look at value-based marketing, right? We're looking at what is value. And we value co-creation and relational orientation, and we're looking at customer relationship management. These are some of the concepts that you will be learning about over the next few weeks. Let's test your knowledge. What are the various eras of marketing? Do you remember them? Production, sales, marketing, and value-based. So how does a marketing create value, and how do firms become more value-driven? Well, they're focusing on building relationships with customers and gathering and analyzing information about the customers, about the various things that impact customers, that customers are concerned about, what their needs are. Then they're balancing the benefits and the cost, and then they're connecting with customers using mobile media and social media. There are 4 main activities that value stems from. We're adding it, we're using marketing analytics, which we're going to talk about shortly. We're embracing social and mobile marketing, and we're also addressing ethical and societal dilemmas of how we can engage in conscious marketing. Modern marketers rely on sophisticated data analytics to define and refine their approaches to their customers and their markets. We have companies like Kroger and Starbucks, CVS, Netflix, Amazon. They collect massive amounts of data about how, when, why, where, and what people buy. And then they analyze that data to inform their choices. When we're connecting with customers using social and mobile marketing, we realize that 97% of marketers use social media tools for their businesses. 4.2 billion people link to some social media site through their mobile devices. So what percentage of the world's population uses Facebook? You'd be surprised. Only 20% of the world's population uses Facebook, which means 80% still have not signed up. There's still huge growth potential for social networks. And, when we look at social mobile marketing and what comes around, marketers have to keep up with consumers' rapidly changing demands. Consumers are sometimes like leaves in the wind. The wind blows, the leaf goes. And that's how a lot of times consumers can be. So when we're thinking about resolving ethical and societal dilemmas, socially responsible firms recognize that including a strong social orientation in business is a sound strategy that is in both its own and its customers' best interest. There's a dilemma, right? Free fruit for children. And what could possibly go wrong? Well, some grocers have set up stands to give away free fruit to children under a certain age. The idea is that a banana or apple at the start of the shopping trip can keep kids from getting hungry and cranky and making the shopping experience more pleasant for their parents, because why? The child's eating a piece of fruit and they're occupied with that. The fruit options are more healthful and less troublesome than other options, such as free cookies or donuts that some in-store bakeries provide for young shoppers. The key complaint has been hygiene, in that there are few options for washing fruit, such as apples and peaches and pears, before children bite down. Still, the generally positive responses have led to at least one chain to estimate that it will give away approximately 1 million pieces of fruit over the next year. So there are some perks. I guess it's just finding the right fruit, right? Or possibly having some type of one of the fruit sprays. They have some of the all-natural sprays that you can spray on fruit, and when you probably have to spray and give them a napkin to wipe it off. But there are ways around it, right? So let's check your knowledge. Last one. Does providing a good value mean selling at a low price? Value-based marketing isn't just about low price. It's also about creating strong products and services, right? Number 2, how are marketers connecting with customers through social and mobile media? Do you remember? Marketers are steadily embracing new technologies that allow them to connect better with their customers and thereby serve their needs more effectively. So that's all. I hope that this was a good brief for you, an overview, and I hope that this has made something helpful for you when you're reading the textbook, when you're reading the various articles that I've shared in the course room and that's being shared within our discussions. I hope that all of these help to layer and enhance your learning. Have an amazing day. See you in the next video.